Meeting to order. Reminder, please silence all cell phones and electronic devices. When speaking, please come to the podium, state your name, address, and speak loudly and clearly. Item number 1 on the agenda today is approval of the agenda, and I move the approval of the agenda.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, passes 2-0. Item number 2, approval of the meeting minutes from March 11th, 2025.
I'll move it.
I second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, passes 2-0. Item number 3, approval of claims, and I would call on Shane Albrecht to give us a review on that, please.
Can I ask for just a little bit of grace right now? We've had a person try calling in 3 times and has not been successful. I'll get started on the claims.
Okay,
We have 3 claims before us. One is for Ron Wick, for travel expenses for $438.34. The next one is from Frederickson for $27,808.07. And the final one is from Resource Consulting Engineers. And that is for $14,987.50.
any questions? I move we approve the claims.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Passes 2-0. Item number 4 on the agenda today is a financial report, and I would call on Ryan Erickson to give us an overview of that.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Erickson, the Finance Director for Woodbury County. There is just a minor change. I have now included the financial report in the packet, so it will, instead of going through the Tuesday, it will just be the period from the last meeting of Tuesday through Friday. And that's how it will be going forward. It'll be a 2-week period of, the Friday to Friday. And in this period, 2-week period, there was interest earned on the Justice Center in the miscellaneous fund of nearly, about $9,700. And then 2 invoices were paid. One was to the Baker Group for $32,000, the February extension, and then Frederickson for nearly $28,000. And that was the activity these last 2 weeks.
Any questions? Thank you, sir.
Right.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right, item number 5, discussion and action on vending machines for the LEC, and I would call on Kenny Schmitz to give us information, please.
Mr. Chairman, can I also tell you, right now we have Kevin Ross by phone because there was problems with their phone system, so he couldn't get on.
Okay.
So I just called him, so Kevin is now on.
Now on. Very good. Thank you.
Sorry, Kenny, didn't mean to interrupt.
I've discussed vending machines with the Commission for the Blind, gotten all that information put together, and we should see arrival of machines in a few weeks. The machines they're new machines and they're being built. So it's not like they have these things laying around ready to ship out there. We specified what we wanted and they're being built. So we should have those in maybe 3-4 weeks.
Very good. Thank you, Kenny. Do a motion?
So we just need a motion to approve vending machines, and this is what in the public, I apologize because I missed the meeting 2 weeks ago, but this is in just the public hallway, or is there some also in the jurors area, both places, or what do we?
So there'll be 2 machines. One is in the main corridor. It'll be near courtroom 4. And the other will be in the lower level by the LEC conference area, bathroom area.
Awesome. Yeah, I would move approval of the 2 vending machines in those respective areas.
I would second that. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Passes 2-0. Item number 6 on the agenda today is discussion and action on payment for the Easy Water Treatment System, and I would call on Shane Albrecht from Baker Group to please give us information on that.
Yeah, so on a previous agenda, we approved for half of the bill to be paid for out of FF&E and the other half to be paid for out of the maintenance fund. with our project fund balance and stuff like that, I would recommend looking at paying for that out of the project fund, leaving the maintenance fund alone and leaving that FF&E alone for future needs at the building.
And that amount was, help me refresh my memory,
115. I think it's roughly 150, I'm sorry, Mark, it's
No,
about
that's fine.
115.
I was gonna say 112, so we're in the same field. Yeah, I like that. We probably, you know, Dennis, rest his soul, if he would have been here, we probably would have been looking at that account for some of this other stuff, which we might be able to go back, but for this makes sense. It's part of the project, so I would move that, payment for the easy water treatment system come out of the taxable bond account, replacing half of the maintenance fund and half from the county building services FF&E budget.
I would second that. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Passes 2-0.
115,745.
115,745. Thanks, Kenny.
Thanks, Kenny.
Did you get that?
All right, item number 7 on the agenda today is information and update on the LEC project. And again, I would call on Shane Albrecht from Baker Group, please.
Yeah, I would like to ask Director Smits to come up to the microphone as well. So we've had a transition till all the warranty stuff is with Kenny's department. So how is that coming for an update for everybody?
It's coming along slowly. So I assembled a Excel document and sent it to Hausman Construction with the items on it. In that document, there are columns for them to input dates that their subcontractors or Hausman themselves are available for each item on the warranty list to try to outline a scope and a schedule that everyone can work off of. We do this because there's some areas we can't get to, there's certain times we can't get to some areas, there's certain times we can. But in my eyes, this would help move the project warranty list items forward in a quicker manner versus someone sending me a text early in the morning saying, can we come today, we want to do this. And then I don't see the text right away because I'm busy in the morning. And I just thought it'd be a good working document for everyone. Unfortunately, I've sent this document to Hausman twice. They failed to respond and/or use the document. It's really no different than what we've seen go on for a long time. They're unresponsive and they are not adequately repairing warranty items in a manner of urgency.
So tomorrow, we have an open items call at 9 o'clock with Hausman. I'm going to ask Kevin, who's on the phone with us, and myself, we're going to push that. Our intentions was to push that on the open items call last Wednesday, but because of the weather, they lost power in Norfolk and the meeting was canceled. So we weren't able to have the meeting because they didn't have power and because of the snowstorm. So that will be a big topic for Kevin and myself tomorrow. We're also going to be working on the jury room. We've got some sound issues there. We've sent things to Hausman. I got a response. I'm going to talk through what the next steps are going to be. So right now, the doors in the jury room have some air so they're not hitting against the sound seal. I'm going to have them come out and readjust the doors. There will be emails going out because of the urgency of this. There will be emails going out on a daily basis until I get a schedule of when they're coming. Now, I won't be, Kenny will be the one managing them actually coming, but I will be the one copying Kenny and sending this out because of the urgency of this thing. Last time they came out, they only adjusted the sound bars on the bottoms of the door. Todd and I, this would have been the end of February, Todd and I went out and checked on it. And they did have the doors at bottoms adjusted, but I could still see light through the sides. So that means the door is not hitting against that sound seal. So first, let's send that. Kevin Ross did send the design in a letter to everybody so that you know what it was designed for, how it should be set up. And if that doesn't fix it, we're then gonna talk about, once they get the door sealed tight, we're then gonna talk about destructively testing the jury room to get this figured out and get this above board. Before we destructively test the room, we will be reaching out to GGA to help us get a sound monitor to make sure that it is hitting the 57 that it was designed to do, and verifying that before we start tearing walls apart. And of course, when we start tearing walls apart, this will all be with the schedule with the courts to make sure it fits in your schedule as well, okay? I have a strong suspicion when we go to tear the walls apart, you're looking at least a week being down, of having that space being unusable, okay? So that's just to keep everybody.
So what's the noise coming from, or what?
So right now, if you're in the jury room as a juror and somebody's talking in the courtroom, you can hear everything that they say. You should not be able to hear everything that they say. You should be able to hear noise, but you shouldn't be able to understand it.
Sure.
You can clearly understand everything they say.
So is it insulation or something that was missed in construction, or what?
Right now, I'm saying the door, there's a gap between the seal
Oh, sure.
and the door itself. So without that seal being pushed, the sound can just get right around it,
Sure.
okay? That may not be the answer. Well, that's where we have to start. And then if that's not right, if that's right and we still have the problem, then we've got to look into how the wall was constructed. Because per the design, there's sound caulk that goes down at the bottom, then there's sound insulation in there. So then we have to get the wall tore apart so we can see if it was installed correctly or not installed correctly.
So we just need to hope that it's not our problem either way, but hopefully it's just as simple as the soundproofing on the door and just being
Correct.
adjusted, and then that
Correct.
takes care of it.
Yes.
I'm not expecting that to work.
You aren't?
I'm not.
Okay.
I don't think that's gonna solve the problem, but we'll see.
You're so optimistic, Kenny.
Kevin,
Yes, sir.
is there anything else you want to add on that for next steps or solutions?
No, I think that's our next step, Shane. And just to clarify, I think you maybe said an STC rating of 57. It's actually, the door and frame assembly has an STC rating of 47, and the walls have an STC rating of 50.
Sorry,
And
yep.
it's a sound transmission class. I just wanted to clarify it. Sound transmission class rating and what that is. And for, to give you an example, I guess for courts, jury rooms, similar spaces of that nature, both national court standards as well as AIA recommended STC rating between 40 and 60 for those type of spaces. Just to put it in a little perspective there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's one of those type of items. They did come, replace the front doors so that's happened since we were here. And they started on the roof on the 17th. They worked Monday and Tuesday. Then the snowstorm happened on Wednesday. And so far, their foreman has been sick this week, so they have not been back Monday or Tuesday of this week. They do have a material delivery tomorrow coming, and I'm assured by Hausman that they will be here tomorrow to work and to offload the material
For the roofing?
for the roofing stuff.
They moved in quite a few different areas and actually did quite a bit of work when they were actually on site. So they did all right there. We did still have a problem with their generator bringing in, they were getting their generator too close to their tools that they were adhering the membrane to the roof with. That puts out the gas or fumes. Our building was sucking those in again, so we had to address that with them again. However, when they were on site, at least they did, in my opinion, get quite a bit of work done. If we could just get them there and keep them there, it'll get done.
So we're 2 days into the roofing repairs that are somewhere between 13 to 15 overall days. Could we have somewhere between 11 and 13 days left of them before the roof will be done?
But they're not working today.
They're not working
They're coming
today, and they did
tomorrow.
not work yesterday.
I knew about yesterday, I didn't know about today.
Okay?
So on some of these warranty items, I mean, some stuff they've gotten done, some stuff has just been dragging on. It doesn't cost us anything because they're warranty items, but what, Jody, I guess this might be a question for you. What do we have to hold over them to expedite this process, especially on some of these that have been out there for a while?
Yeah, well, I guess I would say first, the roof is not a warranty item. That's
Well,
a
that
punch-
one's not, yeah,
That's a
yep.
punch list item. You know, at this point,
Turn your
Kenny's-
microphone off, please.
thank you. At this point, you know, Kenny has taken over the warranty work, and you're doing everything you can. If we get to a point where we feel like that they're dilatory, then we can take next steps on that. You know, right now, the bigger thing is just getting to final completion.
Yeah.
Jody's correct. Some items are punch lists, some items are warranty, but it's just frustrating that we can't get it all going.
There's, to answer one of your things, there's another thing going on. So we have a secure parking area. That gate has been down since the end of February, and it's still not functioning yesterday when I was out.
It's
So that
not-
means it's held wide open, so it's not really secure parking anymore. It's kind of drive in as you want, okay? That's why what Kenny sent out for a warranty list and warranty thing with dates that this is gonna be done, that's why I asked for Kevin's help. We're gonna push them. I need dates when you're gonna get this done. And some of these things, that's a security issue. It needs to be done yet this week.
Yep.
Because, I mean, everybody's been understanding, but we're pushing a month now, Mark.
I know.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that secure parking was put in there for safety and
100%.
security.
Yeah.
And certainly, you know, at a point, if they're not meeting our demands, we could do that work ourselves and
Yeah.
hire it out ourselves after prior notice. And if we ever get to that point because a matter is urgent and they're not getting out there, then we'll take those steps.
So also gonna give you another update on, this is more mechanical stuff, okay? Test and balancing issues. I'm still waiting on Introba and Corey for that response. Control of AHU 1, 2, and 3. We had a meeting yesterday with Suter, walked the site, and Corey. And Corey and Mark Schaefer did talk about control of AHU 1, 2, and 3 today. Just a little bit before the meeting, I had a call with Corey about that, and he's hopefully gonna have something wrapped up today on AHU 1, 2, and 3. Office 65, now, this is one that I say Introba did kind of rubber stamp it, but they did approve it. That work started yesterday. That's Matt Metzger's office. They did get the diffuser in.
And that was the room that was the most cold
Yep.
Yes, always.
during that, yeah. I just wanted, so everybody knew. Okay.
I talked to CW Suter. We got another one. So exterior offices, new heating numbers. I'm waiting on a quote there. There is gonna be 2 new balancing valves that are gonna have to be added to because of discrepancies there. And again, that one was verified by Introba. Corey did the work, but Introba did verify that. MHU 1, control issues. Corey has finished that. I'm waiting on a quote from Suter on that. EUH 2, which is in the front vestibule. This is the one that's completely missed on the drawings. They're waiting on a sequence from Corey, and then they can provide me with a quote so we can move on that. Commissioning report, and Introba's action items. The commissioning report's down to probably 15 items that have to do with AHU 3, or items that we're waiting on train to get parts to CW Suter for, and that's out of 73. So we got about 58 of them done, okay? NO2 sensor settings, Corey fixed that with Suter, and they got those numbers added. Just yesterday, we got the quote back for a mini split unit in 046, which is the IT space for county attorney. That mini split was missed off the original design. And if you remember, we had a PCO for this that was between $20,000 and $30,000, and we said, right now, we're not gonna do that, we're gonna wait till we get in the building, because it'll be cheaper once we get rid of some of the general condition costs. So we got a quote for the electrical side of that, and that's $9,950 for Thompson. And Suter's number is 5,600 and some change, sorry. I think it's 75, but I don't remember the exact change. Ron and Kenny have both approved Thompson's number to get it started. There's about a 3-week lead time on this. We'll bring it before the authority for approval because it's under Ron's threshold. And there's a sense of urgency, so if we can get this while they're still working on the roof, they can get those line sets through the roof without having to pay a trip charge to bring White Castle back. So that will save the authority money.
Sure.
And get this moving along. Because the second thing is, we want to just get all these things done. So, again, in 2 weeks, we'll have that on the agenda for approval. But Ron will be signing for that for approval as soon as we get the number on an official document from Hausman. Not Hausman, from Suter, sorry.
Yep.
That's my update unless anybody has any questions.
Any questions?
I know exactly what room you're talking about there in the county attorney space. I remember we had discussed that, so I'm glad that we're essentially gonna be doing it for about half price of what we thought, several months ago.
D5 is done.
Oh, sure. There was a toilet combi unit that we thought was a leak. They actually sent it back and it was a water quality issue. That's been brought back, and Tristan was here on Sunday to put that back in, as well as look at the slider out there that was having trouble.
All right.
Do we have confirmation on the last couple of pieces of seismic bracing that needed to be done?
We had confirmation previously, they came back and did those last 2 pieces. Kind of surprised, they'd already submitted their report
Okay.
and said they were done. Isn't that correct, Kevin?
That is correct.
But we've now verified from our point of view that it's done?
Well, we already were told from their expert that it was done previous to them coming out and fixing the final 2 pieces.
So then are we gonna have them back out to look at it, or is Kevin looking at it, or how are we gonna wrap that piece up?
According to Procore, it was already done and approved by Introba.
Okay,
So
before it
it's-
was done?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay, but before it was done?
And they've
my
updated the
understanding,
manuals.
Shane, correct me if I'm wrong, but the 2 braces they were out there adjusting, were just adjusting the angles on them?
that is
Or
correct.
they actually, yeah, they weren't adding any additional braces. So
No.
I think as far as the certification process by the manufacturer representative, the locations were there, so I think just need to correct some, the way they were installed.
That is correct.
So the seismic bracing's done.
Yes.
And then on the commissioning, there was 73 items that we had to adjust or fix.
Yes.
Commission agents, and we've got 58 of those done.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. That's good.
All right, no other questions. We'll move on to item number 8 on the agenda, public concerns.
Okay. Michelle Scaff, Woodbury County Auditor. My understanding is that the individual that enters the claims for the LEC Authority is not going to be able to enter those anymore. And so we'll need an individual designated to be the person that enters the claims for the LEC Authority. And that would have to be a county employee, approved by their department head. So I don't know if you've had any discussions or any direction on that to make sure that all the LEC Authority claims get paid in a timely manner.
Okay,
Thank you. I'll
Thank
work
you.
on that.
Okay.
That was one of the items I had, thanks, Mark. Another item I had is to address some concerns of the courts, not having enough seating when they have large jury selections. I have ordered a dozen more chairs for the main corridor. So we'll be able to seat approximately, I think at least 50 people when we get those in place. I'm expensing that out of our FF&E. And I think I think you recently added some funds to that, so that would be the only way we can cover those, so. I don't remember the cost off the top of my head, it was around 5,000, something like that, but those are ordered, and we should have those in a few weeks.
Any other public concerns? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to item number 9, Authority Board Member Concerns.
Not necessarily a concern at all, but this morning there was a delegation from Johnson County that came and toured the facility. They had their folks, their sheriff and some staff from the sheriff's office and some supervisors and county, assistant county attorneys that were out there. They're trying to pursue, and they have for several years, to build a new law enforcement center out there. And so they had visited Dallas County yesterday, and they want to come visit Woodbury County today. So the sheriff's office and myself, we were part of kind of giving them a tour, and it was fun to actually to be out there during operations. We got to kind of see some cool things. They were transporting some inmates to the federal courthouse this morning, so we got to see them use the Sally Port and load those inmates up and take them out. So that was neat to see, and we'd seen some inmates going back and forth to laundry and doing different things. So it was fun to see the guys at work out there, and I thought it was cool because a lot of the design aspects of that building was about worker safety and inmate safety, and so it was fun to see that in action today and just the efficiencies of that. So I think that they really appreciated, the Johnson County folks really appreciated that. I think they were here for almost 3 hours. And so I think that was neat for them to see, and it was just, again, just cool to see our people in action.
Very good. All right, if there are no other board member concerns, we'll move on to item number 10, which is joint closed session with the Woodbury County Board of Supervisors and Frederickson and Byron Law Firm under Iowa Code Chapter 21.51C. I move that we go into closed session.
Thanks, Kevin.
Second.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Roll call vote.
Wick,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Moore absent.
Okay, we go into closed session.
Mr. Malloy, can you wait for just a second, sir?
So seismic racing is done, Kevin, the certification is good, that's cross off the punch list?
Yes.
Okay.
Even though they came out after the fact, that's.
Yes, okay.